Hey, what is up, everybody? I am here to give you my review of WWE 205 Live for December 13th, 2016. I know I have a little bit of videos to catch up on because there's a pay-per-view going on right now, so I'm going to I have a plan to watch Roadblock, then Tribute to the Troops, then my Roadblock predictions, and then I'm going to watch Roadblock itself. So I have a little bit of a ways to catch up, but I think I should be okay. You're just gonna have to deal with this for one more week while I do videos late, because I only got one more week of school, and then that's it. I'll be able to finally do these videos on time and catch up on videos that I want to catch up on. So I'll talk about that in the future, but let me just talk about Roblox. Um, so we had Corey Graves, Mauro Ranallo, and Austin Aries on commentary for this show. I love them all together on commentary. I actually think Austin Aries is getting really good on commentary. Originally, I had said I didn't like him because he puts himself over, but to this week, he didn't really do that as much. He was actually being a good heel commentator. So I like that. Um, and we had the first match. It was Jack Gallagher versus Drew Gulak. Um, this was actually a pretty good match here. There was this one spot where Jack Gallagher and Drew Gulak are both exchanging roll-ups on each other. I thought that was really cool. Um, and Jack Gallagher ties up Gulak in a knot like he normally does to his opponent and kicks him. And I found out too what actually does the damage. The opponent, so Gulak's hand was like in between his legs, and that's what he kicks. I usually think he kicks his ass, but he actually kicks his hand. And then afterwards, Gulak hits a big boot on him, um, tosses him in the corner, and he goes to Irish whip him, but Gulak lands upside down, and every time, no, well, Gallagher lands upside down, but every time Gulak tries to go attack him, um, Gallagher holds out his legs so he can't attack him. Um, and then Gulak hits a wicked elbow, and he ends up slamming Gallagher's head into the ropes, which I thought was a sick spot. And Drew Gulak dominates the matchup for a while. And then eventually Jack Gallagher starts to make a comeback. He hits a headbutt to the ribs, and then a drop kick in the corner for the win. And overall, I thought it was actually a pretty good matchup. It was actually a good technical wrestling match. So I liked it. Um, and then T.J. Perkins is backstage, and Rich Swan comes up and says that you did say that I have been lucky lately, but maybe this isn't luck. Maybe it's just that I'm that good. And then T.J. Perkins says that we may be friends, and even but tonight and Sunday, you're gonna see the T.J. Perkins that beat you in the Cruiserweight Classics. And he says that when he super kicks him, it won't be an accident. And he says that the thing about luck is luck usually runs out. So overall, I thought this was a good dynamics. I think they're positioning for a feud in the future between T.J. Perkins and Rich Swan, where T.J. Perkins I think is going to turn heel because it seemed like he's going to, which I'd be down for. I think if he turned heel, it'd be so much better. I mean, the way he presents himself sometimes is so heelish that and I'll even talk about it because he does a video package later on. But the way that T.J. Perkins presents himself is like he is a heel. So I think it makes sense, and I think he's just bland as a babyface. So maybe if you turn him heel, it will rejuvenate him. But we'll have to wait and see. And then it shows a video package for Tajiri announcing that he's coming to the 205 Live soon. I think that's going to be awesome that he's going to be a part of this. I think that's really cool. And then Jack Gallagher was backstage, and Alia Davari comes up and he says that he's pretty much willing to be a gentleman and call them even and put this whole feud they have behind them. But Alia Davari refuses because he's made him look like a fool by tying him up like a balloon. So he said this isn't even until I make it even. So overall, I liked this promo. I actually don't like this feud between Jack Gallagher and Alia Davari, and I just like Jack Gallagher. I think he's actually a really good gentleman babyface character, and I think he's making it work, so I like it. Um, then we had Lindsay Dorado versus Mustafa Ali, and they both cut video promos before the match. Lindsay Dorado pretty much says that you're gonna see a new style of lucha libre. from Mexico, and you're gonna see a lot of different things you've never seen before. Um, and then Mustafa Ali says that when people hear my name and people see me, they just judge and boo me before they even know who I am. But after tonight, they will know who Mustafa Ali is. So I actually like this. And the match actually was a pretty good match up until the finish. Um, Mustafa Ali hits an enziguri in the while he's on the apron, and then he hits a neck breaker while he's coming into the ring. And then Lince Dorado hits a springboard elbow. And Mustafa Ali though after that had dominated the matchup. And Lince Dorado hits a Frankensteiner, um, hits a Hurricanrana off the apron, and then eventually he hits a moonsault on the outside. But Lince Dorado ends up hitting his head on the metal that's on the stage, and the referee counts, and both men get counted out of the match. So nobody beats the 10 count, so nobody wins the match, which I really wasn't a huge fan of because it just was random that happened, and it just made no sense. I would have preferred that Lince Dorado had a big victory on his first match in the on 205 Live, but I guess that's not going to happen. I guess that didn't happen. And afterwards, Mustafa Ali, Lince Dorado goes to shake his hand, but Mustafa Ali cheap shots him, goes to throw him out of the win, and Lince Dorado throws him out of the win. So overall, I just thought this was lame. Then Alicia Fox is backstage, and Noam Dar says that I'm surprised he didn't say any words after I dedicated my victory to you last week. And Alicia Fox says that she already has a boyfriend, and I really don't remember anything else that happened. They're pretty much, I think, setting up a feud between Noam Dar and Cedric Alexander. It's just like, why is it? I mean, I like Noam Dar and Cedric Alexander, but it's like, why does this feud is lame too, and I just hate the way that Cedric Alexander is being used. It's just dumb. Everybody was really happy for him after his performance in the Cruiserweight Classics, and he's just being used like crap, really. So that's just dumb. And then we have a video package for T.J. Perkins. He starts talking about how when people how he wanted to make history, how he wanted him to be thought of after the Cruiserweight Classics, and he talks about him that how he was wrestling, but then he was homeless for a while, about the same stuff that he's been talking about. And he talks about how nobody can do the things that I do and all that. So, like I said, I think his character seems like a heel, so that's why I think he should turn heel. Then we had the main event. It was T.J. Perkins versus Rich Swan. And before the match starts, the Brian Kendrick comes out and does guest commentary. And at first they just start chain wrestling each other, and they both go for drop kicks at the same time, which showed that they both know exactly who they are. And Rich Swan dominates the matchup for a little bit, and then T.J. Perkins throws Swan out of the win, hits the triangle drop kick from the which was cool, and T.J. Perkins dominates the match for a little bit. And then Rich Swan starts to make a comeback. He hits a double knees to the back, and then he hits a rolling thunder into a splash, which was really cool. But T.J. Perkins kicked out of it, and then T.J. Perkins is outside the ring. Rich Swan goes for a moonsault, but T.J. Perkins moves out of the way. But Swan lands on his feet, but he ends up tweaking one of his legs, and then T.J. Perkins dives on Swan on the outside. I forget the name of the move. And he tries to cover him, but Swan kicks out. And then Perkins hits a suplex into a back suplex. Swan kicks out. And then Perkins starts targeting the injured leg of Rich Swan. And then eventually Swan hits a wicked kick to the head right on Perkins. And he hits a Tiger power bomb on Perkins, but Perkins kicks out of it. And then eventually T.J. Perkins ends up winning with the knee ball. I thought that made sense considering the fact that T.J. Perkins really doesn't have any momentum going into this match. Swan's won the title and beaten Kendrick multiple times, and has a victory over T.J. Perkins in the past. And Brian Kendrick beat T.J. Perkins on Raw, so you needed to give T.J. Perkins some momentum going into the triple threat match at Roadblock end of the line. So I thought that was fine. And the match was good. Obviously not as good as the match that they had at CWC, which I don't think anything's gonna top that match. I'd say this match was better than the match that they had on Raw, but I thought it was good, but it just didn't really seem that the crowd was into it. The crowd, you just heard crickets out there. So, and then afterwards, the Brian Kendrick comes in and he goes to congratulate with Swan, but then Swan like pats his hand away, and then T.J. Perkins super kicks Kendrick, and then he goes to super kick Swan, and it was kind of a little bit mind games on Swan because he doesn't exactly do it, but he shows like I could have done it. So, like I said, I think they're planting the seeds that they're gonna turn T.J. Perkins here, which I would and feud with Swan for the Cruiserweight Championship, which I would like to see. Um, but that was it. Overall, the show I thought was okay. Um, they had good matches. I like the stuff they did with Jack Gallagher and Drew Gulak, and I like the way they built up Aria Daivari and Jack Gallagher, and I like the way they built up the Cruiserweight Championship triple threat match between Kendrick, Swan, and Perkins. But this all just came off just okay. It's not great. I think the show. I don't think the show is going to be around for very long. Um, because it just doesn't really feel like it's anything special. Like you don't really feel like you're missing out if you miss an episode of 205 Live. It's all just okay. It's nothing spectacular. That's the best way I can explain it. Like it's not bad. Like they have good matches on the show and stuff, and they do stuff with storylines, and it's actually giving the cruiserweights something to do, but it's still not enough. So that's kind of like my problem with 205 Live. It's also filmed on the same day as SmackDown Live, so I think the fans are just wiped out after SmackDown. So it's like I don't know. It just doesn't. It's all very bleh, and you have a crowd who doesn't really care about the cruiserweight. So it's just So it's makes it tough to actually pay attention to the show. So I thought this was all just okay, but it was okay. I'll give it maybe like a 6 out of 10. It was okay.